In today's episode, after Marge's game, Bart and Lisa grow up and end up drifting apart. Lisa decides to visit Homer and their old house. When she gets to the retirement home, she discovers Homer isn't there. Back home, Lisa finds out Bart is the one taking care of Homer. Angry, Lisa insults Bart, belittling his life. Later, Homer ends up being kidnapped, and Bart and Lisa set out to rescue him, reconnecting their bond once again. Hi, Simpsons! The episode begins with a childhood memory of Bart and Lisa. Marge says she's going to the market and asks Homer to watch the kids. Homer agrees, buys them candy, and leaves them in front of the TV while he naps. Bart shows up complaining that he's really bored. Lisa says she needs something to do. Homer remembers what Marge said, but misunderstands it. Happy with that, he leaves Lisa with Bart. Bart says he wants to watch a show about excavators, while Lisa wants a unicorn show. The two start fighting and end up putting on Krusty the Clown's channel. Krusty says it's time for Itchy and Scratchy, ugly, sweaty clown. The episode starts and Bart and Lisa are fascinated. When it ends, they laugh a lot. Bart says it's hilarious, and Lisa says they should watch that episode every day forever. They seal the promise with a cookie. Years later, every day Bart and Lisa watch Itchy and Scratchy until the present day arrives. Bart and Lisa rush in excited to watch another episode, but Marge is in front of the TV. She says she has something new to show them and introduces Maggie dressed in an itchy and scratchy costume. Bart and Lisa are horrified. Lisa asks if they're making clothes for babies now. Marge explains they're not just doing that, but everything baby related. The next day, Bart and Lisa run to school and announce to everyone that Itchy and Scratchy is for babies. Everyone is furious and starts a rebellion, destroying everything related to the cartoon. They make a giant bonfire and burn it all. Later, Marge goes to bring snacks to Lisa and Bart but doesn't find them in the living room. She goes to Lisa's room and asks why they aren't watching Itchy and Scratchy. Lisa explains that the cartoon isn't funny anymore and that she and her friends are binge watching a 2013 series. After the episode, Lisa comments that the character made cute girls be considered pretty. Marge says she understands, but asks if there's nothing Lisa can do with her brother. Lisa replies that she'll talk to her team and let her know as soon as possible. Marge says that sounds like a no. Then Marge goes to Bart's room and asks what show he's watching. Bart says he's watching a cartoon for his age. He says the jokes are really funny, but his favorite part is the narration. Marge asks if it's something he can share with Lisa. Bart says they had good times together, but now they're going different ways, and what they had will remain only as memories. He hands Marge some toys, asking her to throw them out when she leaves his room. It was really special, but life moved on for both of us. On your way out, do me a little favor, throw this in the trash. You're an angel. On the street, Marge comments that she knew Bart and Lisa were drifting apart, but never thought it would be so fast, and that she feels like she's the only one who cares. Bart's toys come to life and say they also care about the two growing up. They go to Marge's window and start remembering the good times they had with Bart and Lisa. That night, Marge asks Homer if he noticed Bart and Lisa don't talk anymore. Homer says he has, but he can't argue because Marge wouldn't have much to say. Marge explains she doesn't want them to grow into siblings who barely talk. Homer says they seem like characters from the game he's been playing. The next morning, Bart and Lisa are about to leave when Marge calls them. She says she needs to talk to them. Kids, can I talk to you? Marge explains that she and Homer won't be around forever and that in the future they'll need each other's support. She asks that no matter what happens, they don't drift apart and that they share a sibling journey no one else will ever understand. Bart asks, if Marge is here now, then who's flipping our pancakes? Lisa punches Bart lightly and says she understands what Marge meant, that they'll keep it in their heads and won't grow apart. The narrator explains that they didn't listen to Marge and ended up drifting apart. He says Lisa conquered her world, but Bart just kept existing and doing the same old things. The narrator says Marge passed away very young, leaving Homer and the family behind. 35 years later, a reporter interviews Lisa and asks what it's like being the youngest owner in the WNBA, surpassing the men's league known as the NBA. The reporter asks what her secret to success is. Lisa says she always follows what her late mother taught her. Those who do good receive good. Lisa's secretary shows up and says she has a meeting at her old school the next day and that Bart sent her a fax. The reporter thinks it's strange that technology hasn't advanced in 35 years. Lisa replies that technology has actually been going backward. She asks what Bart wrote, and the secretary explains that he's just asking for money for Homer's nursing home. The reporter says she didn't know Lisa had a brother. Lisa says they're not very close, that she even paid for a course to improve his skills, but he dropped out. The next day, Lisa drives to her father's nursing home. She says it doesn't look so bad to have grown up there. She sees someone lying on a bench and says Barney doesn't look too bad. She looks again and realizes it's Nelson. Nelson laughs at Lisa and says his life took a tragic turn. Doesn't look that bad. Oh my God, that's Nelson. My whole life took a tragic turn. Lisa drives toward the nursing home, saying it wasn't such a bad idea to put Homer there. When she arrives, a caregiver tells her the elderly are visiting a peppermint candy museum. Lisa says she really wanted to see her father, but feels relieved not to find him. She asks if the caregiver understands her. The caregiver replies that she's also a horrible person, excuses herself, and says she has to clean 200 bedpans for minimum wage. Lisa drives away, saying she has an hour free before her lecture. She'll stop by the old house she grew up in and be thankful she doesn't live there anymore. When she arrives, she sees several elderly people dancing and playing around. She's confused and asks Homer what's going on. Bart shows up and asks if it's just a hallucination caused by his medication. Lisa asks why Homer isn't in the retirement castle. Homer replies that he hasn't lived there for 3 years. Lisa says she always sent money for that place and asks what else Bart has been lying about. Suddenly, the caregiver shows up and asks if anyone there ordered an exotic dancer. What else are you lying about? Who ordered an exotic dancer? Oh, I wanted a stripper. Lisa questions if she hadn't just talked to that woman a few minutes ago. The woman explains she's working 2 jobs to pay for school. Bart comments that he's helping young women achieve their dreams. A little later, Lisa asks if Bart is running an unlicensed nursing home with the money she sends him. She's furious and demands to know if Bart paid that caregiver so Lisa wouldn't find out the truth. Milhouse shows up saying he has great news. He managed to get Lenny's and Carl's families to send their checks directly to them. Lisa tells Milhouse to leave so she and Bart can be alone. Bart admits he's told some lies, but insists he's good at taking care of the elderly and that he's super organized. Lisa replies that just by looking at his keys, she can see how disorganized he is. Bart doesn't understand, saying the keys are his command center. Suddenly, someone crashes a car and Lisa goes to see what happened. She finds out that Lenny had crashed her car into a wall. Lisa complains that she has to give a lecture at their old school and it's almost time. Oh no, my car! I need to give my lecture at Springfield Elementary. Bart tries to defend himself, but Lisa yells, saying he's a failure as both a brother and a son. She grabs her old bike and rides to the school to give her lecture. On the way, she reports what Bart is doing with their dad to a real nursing home. At school, a girl introduces Lisa as the best person Springfield has ever had, saying she became her personal hero. Lisa goes on stage and thanks her. She explains that today she's there just to say that if they work hard and truly dedicate themselves to building a future, they can get wherever they want. Then Lisa changes the tone, saying she doesn't have the energy to lie to them anymore. She admits she's very angry at her brother and at the failure he's become. She says she thought she was immune to his tricks, but he managed to land a blow straight to her soul. The audience doesn't understand, and Skinner steps in, takes the microphone from Lisa, and asks everyone to give her a round of applause. Lisa wrestles with Skinner, shouting that he's ruining her pitch on stage. Applause for Lisa Simpson! No! How dare you interrupt my pitch on stage? Later, the superintendent takes Lisa to her old house and says that if she ever returns to town, she shouldn't call them or look for them for anything. Lisa goes to the backyard and finds Bart helping the elderly play croquet. Bart explains how the game works and gives instructions to one of the seniors, who manages to score. Everyone celebrates by dancing. Lisa starts laughing at the situation. Homer asks if Lisa wants to play with them. Lisa says she doesn't, but Homer explains she can play her saxophone at the dinner table if she joins. Lisa agrees, scores a point, and celebrates the victory with everyone. But when she gets close to Bart, she feels a little upset. Suddenly, Carl shouts that Lenny is missing. One of the seniors asks if Lenny is gone mentally. Carl replies he's gone both mentally and physically. Bart worries and says he should have put a bell on Lenny's suspenders. Oh God, I should have put a bell on his suspenders! Bart and Lisa go searching for Lenny and find him up in a tree. Bart asks what he's doing up there. Lenny answers that he's sitting at Moe's bar having a beer while watching TV. Bart says Lenny's mistaken, that Moe's bar is right below with a cold beer waiting for him. Lenny cheers and climbs down to get the beer. Lisa is impressed and admits she thinks Bart does care a little about the elderly, but that doesn't change the fact he's exploiting and deceiving them. Bart tells Lisa to shut up and says she just sits in an office sending checks while he does the hard work. He mentions how many times he has to take Homer to the bathroom and how hard it is to get him out, sometimes even using a wooden plank to break the suction. When they return, all the seniors are desperate. Bart asks what happened, and one explains that some guys in a van kidnapped Homer. Carl hands Bart a note left behind. Bart reads it and realizes it's from the Department of Elderly Protection. He keeps reading and finds out Lisa reported him. Lisa is speechless. Bart says everything was going great there until Lisa ruined it. Lisa says she didn't know the agency would take Homer away, only that she called after seeing how Bart cared for the elderly, and she didn't realize he was actually good at it. Bart, furious, yells that Homer was much better off there than at the nursing home and that all the seniors were happy. Carl adds that Bart treats them with dignity and empathy. Lisa admits Bart may be good, but he still stole from those people, and from her too. Bart insists he only took money for the seniors' needs. Suddenly the garage door opens, revealing a luxury car. Lisa asks about it. Bart says he wanted a bike, but the seniors insisted he buy the car. Carl explains Bart lets them polish the Camaro. Lenny says the car is red like the planet Arrakis and asks Bart to drive them around so they can nap. Later, Lisa calls the Department of Elderly Protection to try to withdraw her complaint, but it doesn't work. The agent says there's no going back, and Homer is being transferred to Florida. Everyone panics, and Carl comments that it's basically a maximum security prison for the elderly. Bart says no one has ever escaped from there and asks Lisa what they can do to get Homer out. Lisa says she has no idea and needs to think. Everyone pressures her, and Lisa snaps, running to the attic. There, she finds an envelope signed by Marge. Inside is a CD. Lisa says she's never seen it before. She sits on the couch and starts watching Marge's will. Marge explains that many years ago, she asked Bart and Lisa to always take care of each other and hopes they've been supporting one another, not drifting apart. Bart gets emotional, saying they haven't done any of that because he's a terrible son. He starts crying, and Lisa hugs him. She tells Bart he's doing a great job with the seniors, and although he bought a luxury car with the money, it's okay to splurge a little. Lisa says Marge may have gone to heaven, but they can still carry out a surgical rescue operation. Bart doesn't understand, so Lisa explains they're going on a rescue mission. The two set out on an adventure in Bart's car. Lisa asks him to turn the music down, but Bart refuses, saying the songs give him energy to drive faster. Lisa spots the bus carrying Homer. Bart and Lisa yell to get his attention. Homer sees them and says he's hitching a ride on the bus because he's smart. An old lady warns him that he shouldn't because they could be prison escapees. One of the seniors thinks it's ridiculous, but when he sees Bart's situation, he starts to panic. The bus is about to reach Florida. Lisa says if they cross the state line, they'll never see Homer again. Lisa spots two dolls and asks Bart if he still remembers their favorite Itchy and Scratchy episode. Bart recalls one, but Lisa corrects him, saying that was their second favorite. Bart understands what she means and speeds up. As they catch up, Lisa makes a hose noise, triggering all the seniors to need the bathroom. They start shouting, begging to stop. The driver pulls over at a public restroom before entering Florida. Homer goes in and sits on the toilet. Bart shows up, uses a wooden stick to pull Homer out of the toilet, and takes him home. On the way, Lisa and Bart cheer, saying they saved their dad. Homer celebrates too, asking what they're going to save next. Back home, Lisa and Bart lie down in the same old spot. Lisa says she's happy to have Homer back. Bart says he arrived just in time to watch the relaunch of Itchy and Scratchy for the new kids season. Lisa pulls out a cookie and seals their friendship with Bart once again. Up in heaven, Marge watches everything. She says she's happy her kids are close again. A man shows up and says there's shrimp for them to eat. Marge answers that she's glad they can also marry different people in heaven. Okay, and it's great that we can also marry different people in heaven. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and leave your comment. See you in the next videos.